Today I would like to talk about superstitions, how they, in a negative use of them at least, will only take you towards negative results, and in worst cases, absolute destruction of your self-preservation. Now, I would like to state what I identify or I describe as my own term of superstition, and it is the trivial beliefs that withhold you from any form of positive results in life. Positive results that are described in 3 different attributes, and this is positive health, happiness, and wealth. Do you feel like you're constantly unhappy, you're constantly unhealthy, and you are constantly unwealthy? And do you have a hint that perhaps a belief inside of you or a superstition for this is the main reason that withholds you from achieving success? All of this is deeply rooted from what we call a paradigm, or in this case, the negative orientation of a paradigm. If you have watched the entire series of the videos I've set out, this is the 8th entry, and you may be already well acquainted with what a paradigm is. Nonetheless, I briefly describe it for those who are just seeking to get this particular information from this video. And a paradigm is basically the program in which you run in patterns in life. We all operate in patterns in life, and these patterns are either positively oriented or negatively oriented. If your paradigm runs in a negative way, you will keep getting negative results in life, as your body, through vibration, or this is action, will keep on doing things that will keep giving you negative results. Now, to change all of this, to change your results, you must change yourself. And this is also to change your superstitions. And the way that we do that is by finding the mental scar of your self-image and replace it with the self-image of your fully realized self. What do I mean with all of this? I made a video regarding mental scars and how to eradicate them. You can take a look at that as well. But the mental scar, briefly described, is the narrative that you have of a traumatic event and how you use your self-image. This is how you describe yourself from that event, and how it's playing through your paradigm into the repetition of negative results. This is, if you see yourself as a victim from that particular experience, then you're bound to act as a victim. Your body will become weak as a victim, and you will constantly find yourself ill. You will constantly find yourself unhappy as a victim is, and you will constantly use resources, or in this case, let's say money, in order to try to fight back all of these negative results, which will lead to becoming even more unwealthy. All of these mental scars or superstitions, these beliefs and ideologies, come from childhood most of the times, or from a very heavy experience. What we suggest by changing these superstitions or replacing them is by first identifying what exactly is your ideology or belief. Let's say you are someone that struggles through life with, let's say, finding partners, romantic partners, or perhaps you do not have had enough of physical satisfactory encounters through sexual relationships. And you will keep on finding that you keep having negative results from trying to engage with, let's say, women if you're a man. And it may come from the superstition of religion that you ought not to interact with people in certain ways, or perhaps you have this very heavy feeling that that is correct, and it keeps on giving you negative results. I would like to reinforce the fact that all of these negative results are giving you pain, and pain is an indicator from your system on telling you where you need to work on. And this requires deep honesty within yourself, and it can be a painful process, but it is a process that you must undergo at some stage of your life. Now we talk about how we use superstition for positive oriented results, and throughout the previous videos we have discussed different tools that you may interpret as superstition, such as the eternal mastermind. And this is to imagine a council, a personal council, with the use of your faculty of imagination from characters or people that are either alive or dead that inspire you, and to talk with them, try to find solutions to problems. And you can do this in the form of a habit. Superstitions also usually come in forms of habits. Another form of positively start engaging in positive results or reinforcing your paradigm in a positive oriented way is with positive rituals. And in a moment I will give you a personal example on how I use a positive targeted ritual to improve my paradigm and improve my results day to day. We have talked about infinite intelligence, and shortly said, it is the energy and frequency that exists all around us that gives us ideas, and within these ideas you may find also disclosed all of the information, knowledge, tools and resources that you need in order to fulfill them. And infinite intelligence is only seeking vessels that can be proving of being worth of fulfilling its desires. And finally we have religion. In religion you will find great teachings and many tools which are described on these stories. I personally believe that the main conflict that exists with religions is when we fixate on the narrative of the religion and we forget about what the teachings are supposed to tell us. It is a story that it's supposed to make you grow, not that you should become obsessed with who is doing what and what happened when exactly, who's good and who's evil. You should learn how to extrapolate all of this information and apply it. It's a way of teaching you how to become a better person. And as a personal experience, I had done great research, and I did involve myself with groups in the Mormon church, shortly put, where I learned through their book, through their Bible, let's say, the Book of Mormon, great teachings that changed my perspective on life and changed my behavior, changed my way of operating as a man. Many people will have strong opinions about the narrative of certain religious books, but again, you should focus on what the stories are there to tell you, and you will take much more than just looking at it superficially. Now, lastly, I would like to give you an exercise in which you may apply a ritual for improving your results in life and changing your paradigm. And for this I will describe the ritual that I created myself for improving my results. And this, I simply call it the shower ritual. It is a tool I came up with in order to adapt myself better through adversity. And adversity is the window transition between comfort zone and that which is outside of it. This transitioning part is when we find more often the most difficult sections of adapting to new challenges. And when we get outside of this comfort zone fully, and we have gone through adversity through the use of our higher faculty of imagination, we will find ways to survive by using the tools and gifts we were all given from birth. Now, my ritual goes as follows. The first thing I will do in the morning is to go and take a shower, which initially I will have the temperature regulated in a way that I will feel very comfortable with. This is warm or lukewarm temperature, and I enjoy myself being in it. This, for me, is a representation of my current comfort zone. And at times I will think of where I am right now when I am under that condition of the water running through me. At some point I will stop and I will start to think about one specific subject that I would like to reinforce for that day. It can be an idea. For example, I may say that today I chose to become more straightforward in the information I give to others. And therefore, on the ritual, going back to it, when I have picked a subject, I will crank the cold water on the coldest setting possible and on the strongest stream that it can give me, and I will shower under it as long as I can, focusing on how I am transitioning from a comfort zone to a painful state. As I am in shock, my body is resetting and adapting to this new environment. I implemented really another ritual inside of that ritual, because initially I had only intended to just have the cold water, the warm water, turn it then into the cold water just immediately. But I found out that it made it much more powerful by giving it another meaning through another ritual, which is the grabbing one concept, one idea, and reinforcing it in the form of a speech. So when I am under the cold stream of water, I'll be reciting a speech as if I was talking to many people, where I will tell them how we're intending to improve on, let's say, being more straightforward, or how do we feel gratefulness for being straightforward already in certain areas of our lives. And I will conclude by closing the tap. Finally, I have realized that at some stage in between the speech, my voice starts to regularize and I become more calm, as I have adapted now to the new environment. And I start the day feeling very well energized. So I will invite you to create your own ritual. It can be anything. It can be going out in the morning and having a coffee while thinking about something positive every single day. And a powerful tool that helps is relation of two different things, one for the other. Connecting things with purpose. Because such as the eternal mastermind, rituals, infinite intelligence, and religion, all of these things must have a purpose, a strong burning desire that you strive for in order to be able to see all of these positive things and adapt them in order to become your highest realization of yourself. It is very important that you have a purpose or a desire well established, that it is clear for you, so that you may be able to pick up on the positive things and use your capacity of thinking to filter out everything that is negative. And rather quickly, you will realize that you engage in many negative acts in the form of beliefs or simple habits that you need to get rid of. And by engaging on rituals that are positive, they will give you even more strength, even more confidence, and many more positive values that will make your days not just more better, but will make you feel like someone you become inspired of, or you will strive to be if you were a child looking up to you. And with this, I conclude today's presentation. I hope that you found this useful and that you may find a ritual or a habit that will aid you in your own personal goals and dreams and their fulfillment and your ways of life. Thank you, and be on well. In the recording of the previous video presentation, I did not have the time to talk about who I am dedicating this video to, and this video is in the name of Sir Nikola Tesla, the great inventor of inventors, the man who tried to revolutionize the whole world with his great ideas that seemed out of fantasy, yet he managed to make some, to turn them into reality, and while others are still dormant in the air in the form of ideas that infinite intelligence is waiting for others to capture. Yet I am one of those who strongly believe that Sir Nikola Tesla had a bad habit of superstitions, which ended up taking the higher hold of him, and that led for him to develop a negative oriented paradigm. Basically, his way of living turned into spiral that just kept going negatively, or in negative ways for him, in ways that he did not have resources or time or the dedication he used to for the further creation of his inventions. And I have a message that I had found from his sayings, or rather I acquired, and this is, I quote, "Do not let superstitions take the higher hold on you. Good and evil are only interpreted through action. Define your goal out of a neutral state that conforms to nature. Such as well, intend only to that which is good and generous. Discard all activities of unnatural purpose and repetition which do not contribute to whatever you may desire." Such as well, Sir Nikola Tesla had a strong belief that we ought to develop our capacity of imagination, and so I quote that this faculty is a conduit of infinite intelligence to manifest. It must be exercised with the intensity of that of a lifting muscle. This was retouched in a way that aligned with the language I use for this video, but the idea is the same. Sir Nikola Tesla did have many different habits that would consume most of his time and most of his temper. And even though he did continue living healthy and old, I still believe that it would have been of great interest for everyone to see what the world would have conceived if he had continued with his development on his great inventions, which understandably was not easy, and he tried very hard. With this, I hope that this video helps you to understand the power of superstitions and to allow them to be used as a tool and not to affect you negatively. We have discussed how you can create your own rituals, among other tools such as Eternal Mastermind, that you can use in the form of a habit that's positively oriented to those goals which you intend to obtain. Thank you so much for watching, and do stay safe.